just tuning in, you're listening to 105.3. I guess I should make sure we're on camera. Good. Okay, guys, sorry. You're listening to 105.3 FM out of New Orleans, Louisiana, and to 107.7. Sorry, I'm all mixed up, guys. You'll understand in a minute. You're listening to UFO Paranormal Radio Network on and United Public Radio Network on 105.3 FM out of Mississippi, I should have said, on 107.7 FM out of New Orleans. And this is the Angel Rock. Hang tight, what I was trying to do, and I should know better. I'm trying to get TikTok going here. So hang on, guys. It's going to take me 2 seconds. And I always try and squeeze it in before the intro. That never seems to happen. Oh, I think we got most of it done here. Let's see. Okay, let's see what happens here, guys. We'll see if it's going to behave itself. We should go live on Instagram. Hang tight, guys. I can't do this ahead of time. Otherwise, I would. And it just never wants to play nice with me. So welcome. I see for anybody that celebrates Ukrainian New Year that we are coming up to that. So or not New Year, I should say Christmas. So happy Merry Christmas to you that celebrate Ukrainian Christmas. There, now I'm not distracted. Sorry about that, guys. Anyways, welcome and Happy New Year. I don't think no, I haven't done the Angel Rock Happy New Year. We did almost the last night of the year last Monday. So Happy New Year to everybody listening. A little bit about myself. My name is Lorilei Potvin. I'm a Canadian psychic medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, spiritual teacher, and mentor. I'm also a registered nurse. I'm an animal communicator. I am also extremely well versed in near-death experiences, having studied them professionally and personally for over 40 years. And I had one as a toddler myself. And I'm also extremely well versed in the paranormal. I always say never went looking for it. It found me. And we shared our story on the Travel Channel's Paranormal Survivor on season 4, episode 9, called Demonic Hauntings. And just as a little extra PS, our own Michelle DeRoche is actually in our episode. I didn't know her at the time, so what a small world, right? And she, now I know her very well. And she's got the Outer Realm actually on Wednesdays and Thursday nights with her co-host Amelia Pisano here at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've got a wonderful guest for you. These guys are going to be popping in here soon. I see nobody's even discovered that we're live yet. Oh, TikTok's not going to play nice with me tonight, I guess. We'll have to redo that, you guys. Give me a minute. I'm going to edit it because we're going to get it to play here. I'm sorry, but it decided it was not going to play nice with us. So give us a second. Everything, Mary, that's my guest. I'm going to introduce her in a second. Everything that could go wrong has decided it's going to go wrong here. So give me a second, guys. I see Seraphine Hurley has joined me over on Instagram. Hello, Seraphine. I haven't seen you in forever. Happy New Year to you. Give me a sec, guys. This is what I see. What did I tell you, Mary? I said when I go live. Did you hear that ding? That's what happens when I go live. It's like it's a call to action. Everybody decides they're going to. They decided they're going to message me here. Come on, TikTok. You guys don't usually do this to me. Let's see. We'll try this again, you guys, and see what's going on here. Copy. Okay, we got that. Let's try it again, and then I'll get back to the intro here. Sorry, guys. But it will really help us out. Mary, you were saying you wanted to stream on TikTok, so let's make sure we get it working here. So you guys, I have come down with the most wonderful, icky, cold flu. Our guest here tonight does a beautiful type of healing we obviously are going to be talking about. She actually sent me some before we went live, and I do believe it's helped, but my whole house came down with it this morning. Okay, let's see if that's going to make a difference here. We'll see. Let's hope it's going to play nice. If not, once we get talking, I will play with this and see what we can do. Okay, TikTok, come on, play nice with us here. Let's see. Hang on. That's the fun and joy of being live, right? Okay, now it looks like it's playing nice. Never fails what live show. I'm telling you, I've already got red messages. Good thing you can't see these, Mary, because they're flashing at me like crazy here, telling me doesn't want to play nice. It doesn't want to play nice. Doesn't want to play nice. But that's the fun of being live. Anyways, like I said, glad that you guys joined us. This is the Angel Rock. I do have a second show on the network on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with my very good friend and very gifted medium, psychic, angel channel, David Hansel. So be prepared for that. Now, this Thursday, Dave was feeling under the weather last Thursday. So this Thursday, we are going to be celebrating our second anniversary of the show on the network. So I hope you will join us. Now, if you guys like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends and family. There really is something for everybody on the network. It's not just all UFO-y and paranormal-y type things. So I think we're up to almost 40 live hosts on the network. So there really is something for everybody here. We stream multiple shows daily, 7 days a week. And when we're not streaming live, the archive server kicks in and picks a show from the last 25 plus years this network's been around. And yeah, like I said, there really is something for everybody. And I always say to people, if you can't see us, you can't join the conversation. And we love to have people joining the conversation. So how you're going to do that, and I'm sorry, it's a bit of a list. Usually we can do this on Facebook, but Facebook hasn't been playing nice because 80%, like I said, of the audience listens only. We do stream to every country in the world. So we got a lot of people out there listening. So we'd love to have you come and chit chat. We've got a great audience. I haven't seen anybody pop in here. You might be waiting for me to start a little bit later, but usually got all kinds of people filing in here. But how you can watch and join the conversation, you can go to my Facebook profile, which is Lorilei Potvin. It's public on Facebook, and you don't need to be a friend. You can join the conversation. We're streaming on my YouTube channel, which is the Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin. We are streaming to our main channel on YouTube for the network, UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network. We are also by the same name on our Twitch channel for the network. We are streaming to there we go. We got Lisa Martinello. She says, "Good evening, ladies. Nice to see you, Lisa." So we are on my Instagram. Okay, it's under the Angel Rock or Lorilei Potvin. Thanks, Seraphine. She says, "Hi, Happy New Year." Sometimes Instagram plays nice and goes for 2 hours. Sometimes it doesn't. It does not put the chat in with the main chat here. So I will be popping back and forth between Instagram and our little bit of a troublemaker TikTok, but we will get you guys in the conversation, I promise. We are also streaming to my Rumble channel, which is under the name Mystique 1508. And as I always say, no, that is not a stripper name. That is from the X-Men. It's an older channel, and that's why it's got that name. We're streaming. We do have our own network TV channel for the network. So if you want to join that, you can go to Roku, go to the channel store and type in UFO, Paranormal, and United Public Radio. There's a drop-down list, and we're about the third or fourth one down. You're looking for exactly what I said, UFO, Paranormal, and United Public Radio. That's how you can watch us. Lastly, we are streaming to TikTok under my TikTok channel, which is Lorilei Potvin. And I think it's also got the Angel Rock in there as well. I wanted to give a shout out to Michelle Wilfong, who is one of my moderators over there. And she does such an incredible job. And I really appreciate all the hard work she does. So again, you guys are not part of the regular chat, but I have another window open to keep an eye on you. So if you've got questions or comments, please feel free to ask, and I will join, read them just like you do in the main chat here. And you guys check out Michelle Wilfong's TikTok channel. She has a really haunted apartment, and she takes pictures of it always. And she's weird activity. Poor Mary sitting there being so patient. Hi, Connie Martins. I see you. Thank you for joining us. So I'm going to read you her bio. Let me grab my glasses. I was hoping I could wing this without them, but that's not going to happen. So excuse me. My guest is Mary Electra. She's internationally known as a spiritual teacher and the Tonal Alchemist, and is a master of enhancing the intention of the healing process individually and globally. I might add that my good friend Lorian Fenton, who is a good friend of hers as well, introduced me to Mary. Mary works on many dimensional levels using techniques such as toning, breathwork, and spiritual counseling with the tarot as ancient healing vibrations manifest through her. She is inspired by the spiritual vibrations of many masters, for example, Mary Magdalena, the Christ consciousness, Sai Baba, Babaji, Mother Mary, and Jesus, as well as other interdimensional beings to open portals and ignite the higher dimensional self within. This is where we consciously connect to Source, opening us to our unlimited potential. As sound is one of the most powerful healing modalities, and I agree, and in our world today, one of the most needed healing modalities, she has been inspired to produce intentional healing CDs, collaborating with other musicians to create 3 simple, magnificent works of sound healing. Told you, everybody sends me a picture. Everybody messages me when I'm live. Never fails. Magnificent sounds of works of sound healing, ancient sounds in paradise, homecoming to spirit, and breathe peace. Oh, those sound amazing, Mary. Another guided endeavor was writing and publishing Time to Be Alive, part autobiographical and part guided wisdom. And you can find these digital files of these products on her website, www.soundhealingelectra.com. It's also scrolling across the bottom. Welcome, Mary. You were so patient there. Nice to see you.
And that's hard for me. That's really
Let's hope
I'm a talker. I generally talk a lot.
Well, we met before the show talking, and I said we're going to be in no shortage of anything to talk about for sure, for sure. So, what I want to ask you, I always ask people, how did you start out with all this? How did you know that this was kind of your modality to get into? And you're very good at what you do. I had a sample of it before we went live. We were testing out StreamYard with Mary's equipment, and I had told her it was weird. We all woke up sick in my house, and none of us had been anywhere as three people together. My partner Del and I and my son. And I see also that you work with kids with autism. I
Yes.
saw in your bio, I have an adult son with severe autism. So we all woke up sick this morning. So please tell us, how'd you get started in all of this?
Well, I didn't know I was going to get started in this when I was young or anything like that. Um, I know that I know that when I was a little girl, I used to have snakes and lizards in bed with me, and
In bed?
yeah, because
Wow.
they were protecting me. I believe that
Okay.
they were protecting me, um, and so anyhow, I didn't know what I was going to do, and when I was 17, I had no real skills, no real money. I wasn't going to go to college, and what was I going to do because I was out of school, and I actually attempted suicide.
Oh my
And I
goodness.
decided, no, it was the best thing in the world because before that, I kept blaming life and the world and God for putting me in this world. And I never took responsibility for me. But once I made the choice to stay in the world,
Right.
uh, I was responsible for me because I made the choice.
Hmm.
So I became a very responsible person and a being, very aware that I was making my choices and that I was my choices were defining me. So that was a really important moment for me. But right after that happened, I was visited by an avatar. So do you guys know what an avatar is?
I do, but some people may not. So you may
Okay.
want to.
Well, they're angels that come in physical form to
Hmm.
support you in your journey.
Hmm.
And so I have was been visited by two avatars in my life.
Wow.
The first one was right after, because after I uh, attempted the suicide, and this it was a gentleman who said he was looking for my girlfriend's boyfriend, who and they were in the service because this was back during the Vietnam War, and this was in Monterey, and there was a big fort there. So so he was looking for my girlfriend's boyfriend, and they were out, and I didn't know when they'd be back. So I invited him to come into my house, into the apartment, and we chatted. And he was a palm reader, and he read my
Oh,
palm, and I had a really dark childhood, and really no one knew about the darkness, but I had a very dark childhood, and he knew everything about my childhood. He knew dates, times, hours,
mhm.
ages. He knew everything. And he, of course, I'm a Leo, so it captivated me to be told all about myself.
We almost have the same birthday, we
I just
found
loved
out.
it. Yeah, I just loved hearing about myself, of course,
Excuse me.
and being the center of attention. And then he went to my left hand and he said, "You know, you are here for a very specific purpose.
Okay.
You are here to touch thousands and thousands of people. It's very important. It's going to take all of your courage and all of your strength, and you will not start your journey, your spiritual journey, until you turn 45. But when
Oh,
you,
okay.
yeah, so but you're here to touch thousands of people, and that was daunting, but at the same time, um, I listened to it and heard it, and 3 years later, a psychic at a Halloween party told me the very same thing.
Okay.
You are here to touch thousands and thousands of people. So I had no idea what that would be. It was quite daunting to think about it, but I went on with my life, and I had to learn a lot of things. I had to learn forgiveness. I had to learn acceptance. I had to learn compassion. I had to learn all the things that would support me in working with people when I was working with them during their journey, you know, working on their journey. So when I turned 45, I started doing massage. And everybody told me I had magic hands. Everybody. And I went all over the world doing massage. And I met a man named Tom Kenyon, who is a sound healer. He has books about it and stuff. And he used to do these workshops. And after I went to his first workshop, I knew I needed to go to more. And we worked out an arrangement where I would do chair massage for the people who went to his workshops, and I would get to go for free.
So, what's a chair massage for people that might not know exactly?
Well, it's a chair that you sit on, and you put your face in a little cradle, and people can give you a massage.
So,
And
like, do you sit backwards on it, like, or do you
no,
just sit
you
forward?
sit forward,
Oh, and
and
then put your face in.
you put
Okay.
your head in a cradle. And I went all over. I went to Egypt, Ireland, England, New Zealand, Australia, Paris, France, the Yucatan, Peru, Hawaii, Canada, doing massage, chair massage at conferences. And I did every UFO conference there was from 1997 until 2015 or something, and all the conspiracy conferences. So, and that's how I met Lauren. So anyway, I was doing massage, and everyone's. So I just thought maybe I'd be doing massage, but I met Tom Kenyon, and he and I was told, I was said, Tom has a message for you, and so I went up to him and I said, Tom, I understand you have a message for me, and he said, blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, after the workshop, we'll talk about it. So then after the workshop, he told me I'd be channeling the Hathors because he channels the Hathors. So I
You
thought,
might have
well,
to tell people who the Hathors are,
well,
because
okay, okay,
remember I warned you. I said
that
the
I
common
know that's okay.
everyday language for me and you is going to be,
Okay,
it'll
no,
be
that's
like a
fine.
given, but
Hawth- Hathors are beings that come from the fourth dimension of Venus, and they are beings that are they are sound and love. They represent sound and love and um, joy. And Tom used to channel the Hathors, and he wrote books. He wrote a book about it, for sure. One I know of, and um, so I feel that everything lives within me. So even though I'm bringing the energy of something forward, I believe it's a part of me because I'm an aspect of God. So anyhow, but anyhow, so I really thought it was kind of lame when he said that to me. It was like, oh come on, can't you be more creative? But anyway, so we were in Hawaii at his workshop, and I couldn't sleep, so I went outside to the hot tubs, and these beings, they were in the form of a Kabbalah tree of life. So I can't explain that to the audience, but it's a Kabbalah tree of life is a form where each dot
Mhm.
is has a specific purpose in it. So it's about our journey, and it's a spiritual kind of consciousness of people's journeys. It's spiritual. Anyhow, so this form that looked like the Kabbalah tree of life was, I knew it was communicating with me. I mean, I knew it was communicating with me. I knew that it was healing me, and I knew it was preparing me, and I knew it was good. I knew all those things because I had ready contact. I was always being contacted by beings, what I call star beings. So what would happen is they would pulse, the light would pulse, it would send a laser beam to the another light, and it would pulse, and then the laser beam to another light, and it would pulse. And they did that for 4 or 5 nights in Hawaii. I went out to receive this because they were doing these patterns. Now, at the time, I had no idea physically or spiritually or emotionally what it was, except I knew it was good. But after that, I started toning. And then I realized that the sounds I bring through are from other dimensions and had never been in this dimension before. And I had agreed to bring these sounds through, but my voice and my throat chakra, or my throat, had to be reconfigured to bring those frequencies through. Otherwise, they would have shattered me. So that's what those beings were doing in Hawaii, was they were preparing me. And my understanding is they were Palladians.
Okay.
Which maybe I
You'll
hope your
know.
audience
They'll know.
is
Most of them will know Palladians.
okay.
Yeah.
So my understanding is they were Palladians, and I was 45 when this happened. Okay, so I was doing massage. I started doing massage when I was 45, and I was in Hawaii. I believe it was December of 1945, and then I started, and it might have been December of 1996. But anyhow, I started doing massage in 1945. When I started doing this sound, people would tell me, "Oh, this is from another world," and I go, "Yeah." I mean, like, I did know it was from another world, and I didn't fully understand everything about what was being given to me or what my journey was. It had to come to me in stages. But in 1999, I sent you a picture of this when I first sent you stuff. I'm
Are
in the
these the pictures you sent me?
no, not the ones I sent you. This was when I was in Egypt, and I'm in the King's Chamber, and there's a ball of energy the size of a basketball that was captured on camera.
Did you just send it to me?
No, I sent it to you when you asked me for bio pictures and stuff like that. I sent
Oh,
it.
okay. So you emailed it to me then?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
And
find it while we're talking. I'll find it.
so anyway, uh, so before I went to Egypt, I went to Wesak, which is in Mount Shasta,
Okay.
and it was the birthday of Buddha, I think, and I think that's what Wesak is. Anyhow, I can't quite remember. But I was doing chair massage, and in 2 days I was going to go to Egypt. And
Okay.
so these two people came up to me and said they had a message for me, and they said you're going to be receiving your you're going to be receiving a rod or a staff on your next journey, which was in 2 days. And I knew it was true because I knew I had to go to Egypt because I knew that was part of my journey. So in Egypt, Egypt is magic and Egypt is sound. And Egypt brought back a lot of memories, like toning to raise the stones for the pyramids. Those were raised with sound and frequency, and so that's how they were built. And I remember being in that group of beings that did that, and I had those memories when I was there. But I went through the whole journey not thinking anything happened. And then I get home, and this woman who was on the journey took a picture of me in the king's chamber when we were doing a ceremony. I'm in the sarcophagus, and it's an end with a ball of light, and you can see energy pouring into my crown. And that was when they
Are you wearing the
downloaded me.
purple top? Are you wearing the purple top in this?
No, I don't think so. I don't know what I'm wearing in that. I
I'm
really
just
don't.
asking you because that's the only picture I found with your bio so far, but I'm gonna keep looking.
Well,
Okay.
I sent you through pictures. I
Sorry.
sent three. I sent three pictures. One is that picture. It, I I don't know if it's on my
You
website or
sent me
not.
three. You sent me a bunch on Messenger. So give me one second.
No,
We'll
no,
go.
no. That's I sent them to you in the email. I think 3 or 4 days ago. I mean, right after the first.
Okay.
But that um, they were downloading me with the frequencies that this dimension was ready for, and that I had been prepared to bring through. And the frequencies, which started another whole journey with the dark forces and
Mhm.
so on and so forth, because the frequencies I bring through are to activate the junk DNA they shut down. We have 64 strands of DNA, and the beings that would like to control us actually deactivated those DNA strands, and the sound I do reactivates them and joins you with your higher consciousness, your awareness of your connection to source. And that when that happens, you're awakened to your higher consciousness, you're awakened to your unlimited potential, you're awakened to everything. And then also there are healing frequencies that come through my voice
I
that
found
work
them.
with people.
Found the pictures. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I found them, so I'm going to upload them so we can show
Okay,
them. Okay.
that's
Go ahead.
perfect. That's great.
Mhm.
So anyhow, that's how I came to this, and I've been doing sound since 1996 or 1997.
Oh, now this is going to really make sense. So let's pull these up here. Give me one
Okay.
sec, because these are, well, the one with the, you've got an orb. It looks like almost over
Yeah,
top of your head.
that's what I'm talking about. It's an
Okay.
orb.
Let me find myself in here. Where am I, Laura? Everybody else can find me, and I can't find myself. Sorry, guys. I take cold medication, so my head is kind of like, ugh. Okay, one, two, three. Okay, three. Okay, so I think they went through. Okay, let's set this up so you can explain it. Hi, Julia Evan. She's over in the UK. So I want to thank you for being here. I know it's late over there, so thank you. And I see our resident Z Sun Dragon, or we call him Kevin, his muggle name, I always say. So he's joined us. I don't think I missed. Mish was here from Australia, but she just said, have a good show. So she's probably at work and just popping in to say hello. Hang on. Share. Let's see. Okay, there we go. I got to make that bigger though, because it's too small. Okay, so this is the one you were talking about, obviously, right?
Right, correct.
Okay, so can you explain that a little bit more, please, again, Mary, for people,
Well,
especially if
I'm in the king's chamber in the pyramids in the king's
okay,
chamber, where they have the sarcophagus. Now these were not burial chambers. The pyramids
love you too, Julia.
uh, they were communication centers where they communicated with beings from other dimensional realms. And there's a lot of things that the pyramids do, but that's what I really understood is like it was a communication center. And so I was with a group of people, and I was doing a ceremony inside the king's chamber with my crystal bowl, and you can see the wand there.
Okay.
And I'm toning, and actually somebody was taking movies as well, and the whole king's chamber is just flooded with orbs. You can hardly see anything. There's so many orbs in the king's chamber while I'm toning. But anyhow, this woman captured this on a throwaway camera, if you can believe it. And if you look very closely, that orb, you can see that it's downloading something into my crown chakra, into my
It
top.
also looks like from the picture I can see, like that I'm sharing, it almost looks like it's got some type of sacred geometry in the center of the picture. Sorry,
Uh,
guys, my malware coming up.
Probably, and you can probably see it better than I do, and that's probably true, because
It's right here.
they
in here. It's right in here. It's hard to see on the screen, I know,
Right.
but it's in there. It looks like there's a little, it almost looks like what I would call like a 3D tetrahedron almost shape, almost. It's
Mhm.
really interesting.
Well, that's because they were bringing, they were downloading me with uh, frequencies that have never been here before, and I'm sure that what you're seeing is those frequencies, the dynamics of those frequencies that were being brought to me, because the sounds that I do, to my knowledge, and it's been reported to me by other people, no one else agreed to bring them through.
Okay.
And so because it was fraught with a little bit of darkness when I did, because there are people who do not want people to wake up to their power.
Well, they've
There,
even changed the toning of our music, like any music we
that's
listen
right.
to. So,
Yeah.
isn't it 43 megahertz? They've changed. I forget what the original
Well,
was.
they changed it to a different hertz,
Mm,
and because that's more that hertz. What is the word? Uh, Mind control. It
mhm.
is. It's more conducive to mind control.
Yeah. Hmm.
So yeah. So anyhow, these frequencies that come through me, I had to be prepared for, because they would have shattered my body, actually. That's how powerful they are.
Hmm.
So they had to reconfigure my throat so I could bring them through without any ill effects to myself.
Hmm.
And so when the world was ready for them, which was in 1999, so I was toning before that, but I didn't have these exact frequencies to bring in. And after this journey, after that I received these, I went all over the world toning to Gaia and in different countries and stuff. So I was opening up, I was activating keys that were kind of left in sacred sites and areas of the planet, that I was unlocking them so that the world or people on this planet had access to them. So it's quite it's quite it's interesting and difficult to explain,
Well,
because
Kevin or Z Sun Dragon added, it does look like images of writings or symbols within the statics of the ball or the orb
yeah,
that's up on the screen right now.
yeah, and I've never explored it to that extent. I just And so you guys are really, see, people open things to me all the time that I'm not aware of. So it's really cool. That's really cool. But
We
I
have a
do know,
really awesome audience. I always tell people they are like, we've got lots of people listening that can't join in the conversation necessarily, but I am telling you, the people that are in the chat, they are so kind to one another. They're kind to people that are new here. They're super intelligent, really intuitive, and really interested in being, the topics that we talk about, the people that are on here. So we couldn't ask for a better audience, I'll tell you. Yeah.
well, I really am very honored that you have me as your guest. And I'm
Excuse me.
honored to be with all of you, by the way. And I want to tell you, I hope that you come to my website and join my newsletter and join my sound. I have group sound healings every month, and I do sessions with people, and I have CDs. And
Well,
so,
oh, go ahead.
well, just come visit me there.
Well, I'm sure
I love
people
it.
will. Yeah,
I
okay,
would love
so
it.
people are going to say, well, I have so many questions. I saved a lot because I had many while we were
Okay.
talking. Never mind that Mary and I discovered, because we started talking a bit about ET and things like that. And I was saying that I very much feel like I've come from, like, that I'm Lyrian. If we look into our off-worlder, or whatever you want to call it, DNA. And I said, not just because I'm a Leo. And I said, mind you, I've got the mane usually to go with it. And then Mary added she was a Leo and she gave her birthday. And I just about fell off the bed when I was talking to her, because you're August 16th and I'm August
Yeah.
15th.
Yes. And my chart is, I have a really amazing chart, from what I'm told, from what I'm told, and
Mhm.
the journey that I'm here for. Uh, I'm here to bridge the spiritual world to the physical world.
You know what I was told? I'm going to read. Connie Martin says she's going to come and visit you. So there you go. There's one person. I'm going to say hi to Julie Jean Bassett
Great.
in a sec. But I was told with the paranormal experience we had in our previous home, and it was dark and it was crazy. I'm actually writing 3 books, and one of them is about the paranormal experience. Like my partner Dell thrown 15 feet across the kitchen. The dream that I had 17 years ago feels like it was 5 minutes ago. I can tell you everything that happened in it and everything I was told in it. I actually had verified. I found on paper 5, 6 years later something that identified. It was a man that identified himself as a demon. Gave me his name, gave me his spelling of his name, and his animal form. And I remember even in the dream laughing because I had a little business. I'm very creative. And at that time, because I've had a bad back, I hurt my back as a nurse and can't go back to work as a nurse physically. And I was making little pet accessories. I'll tell the story because it's just not going to make sense. So it's quick. And I happened to get up that day. I was able to get out and I went to a bunch of local businesses and they all wanted to like sell my merchandise for me, but nobody wanted a commission. They wanted to do it for free. And I had just taken my certified angel card reading course. I'd already felt this call towards this journey. And at the time I was married to my first husband still, and we had just watched the movie The Secret had come out. And I said, this is strange. I can't believe these wonderful people. They all want to do this. Nobody wants any money and they want to do this for me. And we were both laughing and joking and saying, well, maybe it's The Secret. And then I went to bed and had this dream like it happened 5 minutes ago. And there was a tree in my front yard. There's a man, I can tell you what he was wearing. And he called me by name and he tried to tempt me with wealth and fame. He goes, you know that little business of yours? Well, that's nothing, Lorilei. I can offer you wealth. I can offer you fame. I can offer you whatever your heart desires. All you have to do is agree to follow me. Well, it's not very radio friendly what I told this thing to do that looked pretended to be a man. And then he proceeded to tell me his name, what he was, the spelling of his name, and then started mocking me and saying, oh, no, 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 no. Every time you see a crow or a raven, you're going to know who it is. And again, I told him where to go twice, very emphatically with colorful language that we both know that we know how to use, not on air. And I called on Archangel Michael, and there's his, I can't even describe the colors, like royal blue, silver, white, woke up in a sweat, shaking and crying, which is not me. And all heck did break loose. But the reason I share this, I always said I never went looking for the paranormal. I wanted nothing to do with the dark. But I started locally and worked my way out globally looking for help at the time. That's how I do why I'm doing what I'm doing now. But I had many people that were very intuitive that told me that I'm going to be doing something positive for the light that the dark does not want me doing. And this is where this came from. And as I go further and further and further along this journey, it makes more and more sense.
Yeah,
It really does. Mm-hmm.
I know. I know they came for me for 12. Once I got the sound, it was downloaded. I went to Mount Shasta immediately when I got back from Egypt. I went to Mount Shasta, and I had met someone from Australia there, and we went to all of the sacred sites together in Mount Shasta, and I was toning, and we actually went through. I go through dimensions and go into other dimensions, but I'm conscious when I'm doing it. So
Mm-hmm.
we went through a portal in Pluto Caves together, and we were a couple. And when I first met him, I kept calling him Paul, and his name was no,
I know why.
his name was Gary. His name was Gary.
I know why you were calling him Paul.
Yeah, because we were together in another dimension.
That's what
So,
and you never told me this before the show.
no, and we were very happy and very in love. But when we went through that portal, we went to that dimension and experienced each other and the love for each other, which gave us an ability to understand how to have love in this dimension. It was quite interesting. Anyway, and we both experienced it together. So it was really cool. But after that journey to Mount Shasta, the dark forces started haunting me
Mm-hmm.
and blocking me from because they just did not want this sound to be in the world. So for 12 years that happened until I met this wonderful hybrid woman who closed the portals that they were going through. But it was really a dark time for me for those 12 years. I did the CDs. I wrote the book during that. I wrote the book about the dark forces, um, and because it started out to be cathartic and turned out to be a book, but and also about what I felt my journey here on in this dimension is for people, and that is to open your portals to your higher dimensional self, to wake up
Mm-hmm.
to your God consciousness and the spark of the divine that lives within you, that connects you to everything, all things, all dimensional beings. It's because we are part of this wholeness, and so, and once we know that, we have unlimited potential. You know,
Yeah, but it's
just
almost like
it's
deprogramming. It's, you know what, you have to deprogram, and there's still things to unravel and deprogram, because I've often said, because this happened to me later in life. Now looking back, I know I was talking to my guides when I was 4 years old. I had my first paranormal experience. When I was 8, we moved to a brand new home. And from the time the snow first started to fall, so I would have been almost 8 years old, until it melted. So it was about 6 months. Every night at 3 a.m., I would wake up completely unable to breathe. I couldn't take a breath in, couldn't breathe it out. They finally diagnosed me with asthma and put me on medication for about a month, and it seemed to stop. But the thing is, I knew nothing about 3 a.m. I knew nothing about the paranormal. And being a nurse, I was not having an asthma attack. It was literally like something was wrapped around my throat,
mm-hmm,
and I could not get a breath in, could not get a breath out. Right. And even as a nurse, so many things happen that are completely unexplainable, like, working nights. And we used to have to do everything as nurses when I was on the floor. Like, you didn't have the pharmacy mix anything. You poured all the pills, you mixed all the IVs, you did all this stuff.
mm-hmm.
And, have 60 patients on a floor. And the last room I would have went to, I remember one night, I literally now know it was my guides saying, you need to go in that room. Would have been the last room, and I walked in and seen the poor gentleman just fall over and have a cardiac arrest. Like, I had so many experiences like that. But where I'm going with this is, we have to deprogram, because we are led to believe from birth, unless you've got a mother that does this kind of stuff, or parents, or someone close to you, because we think that what we think is life, that's all there is. And then once you start to open this door and recognize the beautiful things you've just said, which are so true, it's like learning a whole new world, and it is infinitely larger. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I would suggest, instead of saying learning, I would suggest you say you're remembering,
I love that.
because
Yes. Yes.
we're not learning anything because it's already within us. So
Mhm.
we're just remembering
But a
what
lot
we
of people
already know.
don't know. A lot of people don't know, though. So I agree 100%. I love the word remembering, but
Mhm.
it's got to start somewhere, right? And then when people start to kind of kick that door open, if you will, a little bit, and they think they are learning, you are right. Because I can tell you, I run into so many people that'll say, well, how do you know these things? You just know, because once you open yourself to these type of things, right, it comes through. Same as the toning. Where does the toning come from? Where do the tones come from?
Uh, Spirit,
Yep.
my
See?
connection. I mean, it's
Excuse me.
so many. I have to tell you, there has been a lot of magic happen for people. I mean, if you go to my website, you can see a lot of stuff that has happened, miracles that have happened for people with the sound work, and when I did massage and body work, because I was guided by my higher self to do whatever I did. And so spirit was always flowing through me. And people would always say, well, Mary, you're taking on everyone else's energy. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm working with spirit. I'm not taking anything on. Spirit is guiding me. Spirit is taking me wherever I need to go. I don't need to worry about anything. And then they say, well, don't you get tired? And I said, no, I'm not using my energy. I've never used my energy in my work ever. I can work at 8, 9, 10 hours doing massage. I mean, I've done conferences where I have really literally did massage on 100 people, and I'm not tired. I am tired when I get home and I realize I've had an 8 hour, 12 hour, 10 hours,
Yes.
but my energy is not drained. I never get drained. I can do it always. I mean, because it's not me. It's not my physical energy being used. So, but I just, if we think we're learning, I don't know. I just think, okay. Well, anyhow, however you find your truth is important. If you are learning it or remembering it,
I love
um,
the word remembering because you were right. It never went anywhere. Our higher self knows it all, and we are
right,
connected to source infinitely.
right.
And so, but for people that are new to it, right, and you tell them you're just remembering, right, it's a big jump, I find, for some people. Some people might just accept it. I don't
It,
know.
uh, it could be, but it's their journey to the opening of their higher self. So to tell them they're learning their higher self kind of,
Yeah, I agree. I would say connecting to your
and
higher
then
self.
yeah,
Yeah. So,
they're connecting and then remembering.
you know,
So
you know what?
that's my, but I don't have to be right.
I'm talking about
However,
this whole
yeah,
realm of
yeah,
things because we
yeah,
are remembering. We
yeah,
know it. But
yeah,
I'm not talking about like your higher self. I would say connecting to your higher self, remembering that connection, if you will, right?
hmm,
Then we get
right,
into what the world, with this 3D, this earth school, I think is just energy, vibration, and frequency. That's all it is, right? And when you break it all down to the itty bitty little bits and pieces, but for people to jump from every day that thinking that all there is I go to my 9 to 5 job, I go home, I eat supper, I read the newspaper, put my feet up, watch TV, make sure my house is tidy, go to sleep and do it all over again. People don't realize that there's so much more kind of thing, right?
and that, but see the sound. That's why, that, in my opinion, at this moment, the sound that's coming to, a lot of people are doing sound, and that's wonderful, because sound, people need to be connected to the sound and frequencies of the world. They need to be awakened to it.
Sound
And
is our first sense, though, having worked in the NICU and with preemies and
mhm,
things like that, right? When we are in our mother's womb, one of our first senses to develop is sound. And what are we connected to? What do we hear? We hear our mother's heartbeat. It's first
right,
thing, right? And then we start to hear the sounds coming through, the fluid that's obviously we're being carried in.
right,
You could see why sound is so powerful because, especially,
mhm,
that to me would really trigger memory because that's the
yeah,
first thing we connect with, I
right.
think.
And so, yes, and that's why I feel spirit wants me to tone for thousands of people, because the frequencies help to shatter and open the DNA that's been shut down. And so I just really, that's why, I kind of stepped away from doing, I did sound, but I stepped away from being in the world with sound, because of the dark forces and everything. So I kind of had to heal from all that once I got, once it got sealed, and I, because anyway, it's that's a long journey, and you can read the book because it's in the book. But anyway, I kind of stepped back because it was jarring to me, and I had to heal from all that because it was 12 years of 12 years I went through this, and it was very emotionally and spiritually difficult for me. It was a very, I it's hard to even describe it because it's more than I was more than being depressed. It was, I don't know. I couldn't even describe it. I can't describe it, but it was a difficult time.
The way
So
I would describe it is, and people, I run into people, like, especially when we were going through our dark experience, and people very well meaning would say, well, you just send whatever is attacking you at my house. You just sit it down here and I'll kick it in the butt. And I'd have to have a serious conversation with them and say, no, no, you do not ever invite something like that in, because it doesn't, you don't control it. As human beings, we think
no.
we can, and they go after things that will hurt us to lower our vibration and frequency, things we
Mhm.
can't control, because they've got us exactly where they want the person, right? And I know that we're talking about healing and really positive things, but it was my partner years ago when we were friends. And I had said, yeah, I finished my angel card readings, and I love angel cards and oracle cards because I never want to see anything or deal with anything negative or dark. And I've never forgotten what he said to me. He said, Laura, if you're going to be doing this work, you need to know both so you know the difference. And he's right.
Yeah, I rewrote my book, but I've never republished it. But I rewrote it because I had to go through why I went through this experience. And my understanding is that I needed to learn to embrace the darkness as well as the
That's
light,
hard. I still
because
like
we are to become whole and one.
excuse me.
We have to bring the darkness and the light together and embrace both. And I understand. I fully, after all those 12 years, I do understand that now, and I do understand that that's why this journey was there for me to encounter, because we are an aspect of the dark. We're the aspect of everything. So darkness is a part of us. We can't get away from that. If we're going to be an aspect of the source, then we're an aspect of the darkness as well as the light. And
Mm-hmm.
once we embrace that, it's easier to live more fully in our light.
Mm-hmm.
It
No,
really is. So
Kevin
anyway,
Kevin added, he said, I don't know why, but I kept having deja vu since I showed that picture that you shared, Mary. I think in Egypt with the orb.
right, yes,
Who
yes.
knows, Kevin? Maybe you were there too. Kevin's very intuitive. I do want to give a shout out to Julie Jean Bassett. You guys had all intentions of going live with her over Christmas. That did not happen. And we started getting sick yesterday. So I have not forgotten Julie. Julie is my mentor for my animal communication course I took. She's helped me with my own animals. And we are going to go live because I told her we need to go live. I need to practice. She's helped me with many of my own pets. Mary got to meet Emmy today when she was toning for me, which I'm hoping, if I don't put her on the spot, that she'll show you what toning is about. Julie is an incredible shamanic practitioner. I had a session with her that was life changing, you guys. So please check her out at juliejeanbassett.com. You'll be, I mean, if you ever want to know what your animals are thinking or what's going on or why they're doing what they're doing, and she can speak to animals earthside as well as as a medium, a pet medium too. So check it out, please. Thanks, Mary, for letting me. I'd love to give Julie a shout out because more
No, it's
people need to find out about her like you.
you know what you know what we need to do is we need to be collaborative.
Mhm.
Too many people want to hold everything they have in and not collaborate and open it. It's important for all for it to. It's important now for us to be benevolent uh, and open our arms to all things and share and collaborate and make people aware of all the magic that is living out there. I mean, it's just really important for that. And so,
Well, what
anyway,
people don't realize too is that, you know what, it's meant to be shared. Like when I know when I connect, say, with off-world or ET races, they'll say things like they know we're a young race. We're a very young race. That the thing that confounds them sometimes about us is our propensity for violence, as well as the depth and breadth of our emotions and the way that we can be very emotionally labile. But they lovingly don't interfere with our free will. But I know that some of us do interact with off world. And I keep hearing this from spirit. So I'm going to ask you, what do you think's been going on with all these drones and these portals and things that we've been seeing? in the month of
Well,
December.
I personally think for eons of time, there's been a war between good and evil. And
Absolutely.
it's not here just in this planetary dimension, it's in all dimensions. And so uh, it is time now. Um, I guess there's prophecies in the Bible that state this, that it's time for us to have 1,000 years of light.
Of peace,
And
yes.
what's important now is for us to um, fight this battle and get through this battle and know that we're winning this battle. And so there are other forces. And the Galactic Federation said that those um, drones were actually Palladians that were helping to support what's going on the planet, because there's a lot of tension with Trump being elected, the stuff that's going on in Canada, the stuff that's going on. The whole world is really erupting and moving into its higher consciousness, basically, in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion, from what I can see.
Mm-hmm.
And so things are shifting and changing, and I believe those drones are to help us and support us. I think there might be some out there that are dark, but I don't think I don't think they're stronger than the ones that are light. And I do think those are beings from other dimensions that are working with us, and they are presenting themselves like that. That's what I think.
I don't know what they are. So I asked people about it. I did the last Monday show. I purposely did it on my own. I don't usually get to just hang out with everybody. So we did. And then unfortunately, my co host wasn't feeling well Thursday. So we hung out again. And everybody's got different ideas about it. So I'm
Yep.
open to hearing because I don't know what exactly it is either. So, but you said something powerful that a lot of people probably will never believe that it exists. I believe it exists, but that's the Galactic Federation. So can you tell
Yes.
people a little bit about that of what you know of it?
The truth is I'm not that well versed in it. I read the
Hmm.
on X Files. You can on the X, not the X Files, but on
Twitter.
X you can read uh, messages from the Galactic Federation, and it's a group of beings that are intergalactic, basically,
Hmm.
that are here to make sure the world is not going out of balance. I think to support the balance and well-being of all of the galaxies, and
Hmm.
I think that that's what they're here for. And I do believe that I do believe that there is dark forces that, for eons of time, have been trying to um, have been trying to block the light. But one of the things that I think is real important that I'd really like to share with people is when things are happening that you feel that are dark and stuff, and that there is darkness around you. What I want you to do is go within yourself, and I want you to shine out light.
Yeah.
Just know that you are shining out this amazing, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. That song. Well, there's a lot of truth to that. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And when you let that light shine, darkness does not want that, because it gets exposed. So when you send out this light, this inner light within you, they run. They're like the roaches on the kitchen
True.
floor when you turn on the light. They run because they do not want to be exposed, and they do not. And light just so my my advice to everybody is to remember to shine your light, because your light is so powerful. If you acknowledge that your light is powerful, it is, and just use it, and that will be one of the greatest protections you have, is to shine that light.
But what people
I
don't,
don't know where we got off on this really wonderful
I
show.
told you it's just a
I love
conversation, and I never, you know what, before every
I
show,
love
and
it.
my audience knows this, I literally just say to spirit, I do a little bit of grounding, and I just say, okay, spirit, where are we going with this today? And just open it up.
Yeah.
It's just a conversation. And it always comes back to why you're here. We're still going to be talking about your work, but it also gives people, reasons to connect and sort of get to know who you are.
Well,
And one thing
yeah.
I did say that I think is important, but some people say, well, what do you mean shine your light? But one of my things I think I'm here to share the message and remind people is of how powerful our thoughts, our words, and our emotions are. So what people don't realize, and when I'm working with people, as you being a spiritual teacher yourself will understand, that you literally, even with your personal space, you don't want to be seen. Pull it in tight, wrap it around you. Think within your head, I'm invisible, I'm invisible. Are you invisible? No, but you'd be amazed that people will walk by you and not even notice that you were there. Same as when you go into a job interview, for example. Even though you may not feel confident and you're nervous, push that energy out. It looks confident. It looks knowing. It looks shiny. It looks amazing. Same as your light when you said, right? Shine that light. You want to imagine this beautiful, incredible light shining out all around you. And unless I'm wrong, please feel free to jump in and add anything else that comes to mind.
No, I just think encouraging people to work with their
Excuse me.
natural gifts is wonderful.
So Kevin says, I agree, Mary. And I heard that song. I guess this little light of mine. He says, I
Yeah.
heard that song too in my mind's eye, and said it too when you did, I guess. He says, LOL.
Well, so we're connected, right?
Kevin is really intuitive. He's
Yeah.
Canadian. Actually, I'm going to give Carrie Lynn Shellhorn. I was talking about her earlier. I know noticed she popped in on Instagram. For those of you that don't know Carrie Lynn Shellhorn, I don't know how you couldn't. And you know how much I love her. She is one of my close friends. She has Spirit Switchboard here on UPRN on Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also, I got to give Father Sean Whittington a shout out because I think that's who messaged me when we were live. I'm going to be on his show, which is immediately before Carrie Lynn's at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I can't wait. Father Sean was on the TV series Eli Roth presents League of Exorcists. So he shines his light and love, being part of the religious factor of it, and works with the dark forces. So I can't wait to have a chat with him, I'll tell you. It's
Yeah,
good.
you'll have to keep me abreast of all this thing. You'll have to keep me updated with all this stuff.
Oh, the only thing I didn't like about the TV series, I found it. And Eli Roth is the guy that played Mr. Spock in the remake of Star Trek. And I forget what other one, Heroes, I think he's been on all kinds of TV series. Well, now he's put out things about the supernatural. And he put this series out, and it was basically a room full of men and women who they weren't all of the cloth, but they all worked in the field of working against demonic forces. And they talked about their experiences, and then I guess the show would try and do a reenactment in some way. And I'm telling you, some of those stories were just mind blowing. But my only complaint, it got to episode 6, and I went, "Where's the other episodes? I want to see more." There was only 6 episodes for the first season, so.
Oh, that's too bad.
Mhm.
I do want to tell your audience that um, I had my sound evaluated by Dr. Emoto. He did the messages of
Oh,
water.
please tell them who Dr. Moto is. I'm just going to
Do,
grab a
do,
rag. I knocked my drink over and it's going on my computer. I'm here, but please tell them because
Doc,
there's going to be people
Dr.
who don't
Emoto is passed away now. He passed away, I think, 2 years ago. But he developed this process on how to evaluate water,
know. Yeah.
and he would do these experiments by putting anger on a bottle of water and then freezing it, and then taking pictures of little slivers of the water with this
Excuse
machine
me.
that he developed, and it it would show you what effect anger, the word anger, had on the water. And it would be these images were not very good. And then he would put peace, the words peace, on a bottle of water, and then he would freeze it and do the same thing, and they would come out to these beautiful snowflakes.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my clients felt that people needed to understand, because the work I do is pretty subtle. You don't really know you're getting something. You just don't really know unless you are real tuned in how powerful it can be for you. So she felt people needed to understand that there was a lot of power in it. So she thought having my sound evaluated by Dr. Emoto would be a wonderful way to do this. So we had a little ceremony and sent an intention into the water, and I toned into it, asking that I be given a pictorial of what's happening in your body when I do the sound, so people could kind of understand. So and then we sent it to him. They froze it and then sent me pictures back. Now, when they sent the pictures back, there you can see them on my website. You scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you see these pictures. And the first one is like a molecule being broken up,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's being swirled. And then the next one is an embryo, and you can really see it's an
Oh,
embryo.
wow.
And then that embryo grows into an absolutely perfect snowflake.
Oh,
Not to mention, and you can see those. They're at the bottom of my website. You can see them. I'm toning their sound as well, and each one of those pictures has a beautiful cast of blue. Now, his pictures normally don't have a cast of blue, but since I do a lot of work with the Magdalene vibration, Mary Magdalene worked with the blue light. So that light that's coming through is my connection to the Magdalene vibration. So I just thought I'd explain that to you because they're very interesting pictures. But most people look at them and just think they're Emoto photos. They don't realize they have
I think
anything to do
that's
with my work.
That's
So,
important to talk about. So, for people just joining in, I always forget to do my station ID, but I will. We're a little bit late. But if you're just tuning in, I see you, Heidi Gall. Welcome. She says, hello, Lorilei and Mary. Much love from Boulder, Colorado. So, you're tuning in to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network. We're broadcast on 105.3 out of Mississippi and 107.7 out of the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana. And this is the Angel Rock. I'm your host, Lorilei Potvin, and this is my wonderful guest and new friend, Mary Electra. Mary, so for people that don't know what toning is, would you be open to doing any? And if you're not, that's okay, but and maybe explain to people, a little bit about it, like, what leads you to, because I know that intuitively, a spirit will know if you're open to doing the toning that
well,
they'll
of course,
exactly what you
I
need
would
to
love to share it and let everyone experience it.
get. Hmm.
I love doing it. I mean, it's like magic.
Excuse me.
And tone, toning is just when I'm toning, frequencies are coming through me that vibrate in your body because sound is vibration, and it vibrates you, and 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 I also am under the understanding that when I'm doing sound, that I'm toning colors with the sound because color is light and very powerful in the healing process as well. So I don't have any physical. I can't I can't tell you that's for sure, but people have reported to me that I have watched other people receive the sound. They say that the sound, the frequencies are entering their body, and they're doing work with the body, and they're just vibrations, and the vibrations carry different colors. So that's what I do. But sound, every cell has a frequency. And all you have to do is go talk to Tesla about it because he understood this really well. And everything has a frequency. So when a frequency is out of balance, that's when you're in dis-ease
Hmm.
because your frequency, the vibration of that cell, is out of balance. So you can tone the proper frequency and bring it back to balance. Or, like for tumors, you can send frequencies in that can shatter those frequency shadow the tumors and help people to be relieved of the energy of those tumors. Because you have to remember, sound is just bringing you back to balance, basically, because you are frequency, you are energy and frequency. So it is bringing you back to balance, or it's destroying something that's taking you out of balance. So you have to remember, sound heals. Well, first of all, sound destroys, sound heals, and sound creates. So those are the things, and that pretty much encompasses everything. So if you think about it, sound kind of encompasses everything, and
Well,
that's why
Judy
sound
says
is
hi,
so important.
hi to you. Just I'll
Hi.
just say Kevin too. Kevin says you feel the vibrations within and get the images or colors from those vibrations. Yes, he's agreeing with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
And so I would love to tone for you, guys. One of the things that I would like you to do before I tone is I would like you to send those pictures I sent you from Mount Shasta. um, I was doing some healing work in Mount Shasta, and I sent you, I think it was 4 or 5 pictures, and
Yeah,
you said it was set up to go.
they're the
And
ones that are kind of
and
blurry a little bit, right?
well, that's the dimensions dissolving. So yeah,
Ooh, well,
yeah.
let's
So
get into them.
I'll explain them to you as we go,
Okay, give me a sec here. Share the
and then I
screen.
will tone, and then after after you see these and you know about the messages in water. Okay, so this is me in Mount Shasta. That's me in that blue
I'll
dress,
make it a
right?
little bigger. There.
And this is the woman's thumb. And she happens to be an actual hybrid, and so that's her thumb taking the picture on her iPhone. That light right there that you see up there, there
Hmm.
is a cigar-shaped UFO.
Up
During the
here.
day, you can see it, yeah, and that light is what's coming from that cigar-shaped UFO. Okay,
Interesting. So,
okay,
for
so
people that don't know what a hybrid is, it would be a human being plus a mix of off-world DNA, basically.
right. This woman, her father happened to be in the military, and the government decided to do an experiment, and they injected fluids from a crashed UFO into 5 different soldiers, and then they studied the offsprings of them. And the woman, so she's a true hybrid, but she took on more of the traits of a star being than she did. You know, she's very magical. But anyhow, so this so that's what's there. That
Okay.
so this craft and these beings are working with us on the healing that we're doing in Mount Shasta, and that's, I think it's Crystal. I can't. It's Crystal Lake. I can't remember the name of it
Let me
right now.
see if this is the next one. There's the
Okay,
next one.
so the
Yeah.
next one is, you can see how everything's getting distorted because the sound distorts everything. It dissolves. It actually dissolves the dimension. So
Okay.
that is now this is her hand, but this is when I'm toning out, and
This.
the dimensions are starting to dissolve. Okay.
Okay. We'll go to the next one. Hang on. Next one.
So now you can see we're multidimensional. As I said, we're in all dimensions. So I am my physical being is going out into and it goes infinitely out.
Okay.
So my physical being is going out into other dimensions to do work with other dimensional beings. Okay.
Okay. Hang on.
So the
This
next
almost looks
one,
like a being on the right, though. Right on the right here. It
well,
almost looks like.
there
Okay,
it
we'll go
could
to the
be
next one.
because
That's the next
okay,
one.
because see, then what you see is this being coming
Yeah.
in, and it's kind of like Merlin. So there's a being coming in to work with us, and as you can see, there were rocks and water and everything, but the whole dimension, you see how it's absolutely dissolving. There's It's dissolving
Wow.
because
I'm
when
so
you,
glad you explained this because when I saw these, I didn't know what they were, but I can see the face.
yeah, oh yeah, and this being is, I don't remember if there's one more or not.
Okay,
It's
yeah, I think there's one more. Hang on. We'll see. I think there is one more. Yeah,
Okay, see, there's the beam. It's fully been brought in, and
right
it's
here.
joined with me, as you can
Yeah,
see.
you're
And
there.
as you can see, the dimensions around us are all dissolving.
Wow.
Okay, so that's what's happening when you receive the sound. You are actually going into another dimension if you allow yourself to do that. I mean,
Right.
everything is by your permission, but this is the opportunity you have. And we were doing some really magical healing with Mount Shasta. And so this is my sound.
Yeah, because
This is,
wow.
yeah, and you can see, and if you go back to the first picture,
Okay,
you'll
give me a
see
minute. We
that,
gotta go back.
you'll see that, uh,
Let's see. 1, 2, 3. It's that one, right?
yeah, see how clear it is?
Yes.
So after the toning starts, it starts to dissolve.
Well, we'll
And
go
the
through them again quickly so people can see. So there's the next one. Things starting to move and shift. Then
dissolve,
the
yeah.
next one.
Yeah.
See, I didn't understand. I knew you would explain this. So I'm so glad that you shared these with us because these are people are saying some of the comments I've highlighted. Oh, what did I do? Did I close it by accident here? Hang on. We'll get it built back up here again. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see. You got that one. There's where it's really starting to shift and dissolve, right?
Well, it's dissolving, but also you can see how you can see. We don't realize that we're part of other dimensions, but here you see how I am a
Yes.
part of the other dimensions. You see how we are infinite,
Oh my
basically.
gosh. See, like this is mind blowing. Okay, there's the other one. There's the being
And these are
starting.
beings that are infinite as well, and they're coming in to join forces with this healing that we're doing.
And there's the last one. Mary,
Yeah,
these are mind blowing. I'm so glad.
yeah.
Kevin said, Connie's saying, wow. Heidi's saying, that's incredible. Wow. Kevin says, I see 3 of you leaving and going into the 3 dimensions or directions, he says. Interesting. And then Connie says, and this is all from sound. And Judy Thompson's going, wow, Julie Jean Bassett, very cool. Like people's minds are just blown,
Yeah.
Mary. Thank you.
Okay, so now I will do sound for you
Okay, well
guys, and
let's
then maybe people can comment about what they're experiencing with it.
oh,
So,
that would be nice. Yeah. So
yeah,
that can you tell them what maybe not what they're going to feel, but how to be
no,
open to it?
I can't do anything. People are what they will be open if they choose. It's just it's all choice. But I
But
will
people,
say
I know there's going to be people saying, what do I need to do? Basically, just
nothing.
be open and receive, right? If
You
they're
just
open to
you
doing that.
just receive it.
Yeah.
Just close your eyes and breathe. Okay, I
Okay.
want you to take deep breaths and bring that breath up into your lungs, acknowledging that this is your life force energy. And as you bring that life force energy into your lungs, that oxygenates your body and it's your living, breathing life force energy. So breathe in and now be conscious of your out breath. As when you breathe out any energies that no longer serve you. You breathe out tension, stress, energies that are not serving you. You send those energies are being breathed out of your body so they can transmute to their higher vibration. So you just continue to breathe, and as you're breathing, your body starts to relax. It just starts to relax. So just breathe and release. Release tensions, anxiety, any energies that no longer serve you. And just keep breathing. And as you do, your body starts to relax. And that just becomes so receptive to the sound as you relax fully into the experience. So just let your body breathe in and breathe out, allowing that body to relax and be open and receptive to receive whatever gift the sound has for you. So breathe and just breathe. Now, if everybody could take a deep breath, and when you release the breath, release it with sound. Ah. Take another deep breath, and then release that breath with sound. Ah. One more time. Take a deep breath and release that breath with sound. Ah. And whenever you're ready, you can bring yourself back into this dimension.
Just trying not to cough. That's why I don't want to make a
No,
noise.
that's okay. It doesn't matter. It's part of the journey. Just
Yes.
bring yourself back into your body. I can feel that a lot of you don't want to really come back, but it's okay. That's it's okay. Just when you're ready, bring yourself back because you need to. If you're going to go anywhere or anything, you want to be back in your body.
You know, when you do this, because then we talked on the phone earlier, before you even started, I get the most cooling feeling, like on my, it seems like on my lower legs mainly. And the same thing happened when you did it again this time. Oh, Judy says she's crying. I hope it's a good release for you, Judy. Kevin says he's back. He's regrounding, and I think it says closing. Hi, Linda Miller's over on Instagram. Crying is a good release, isn't it? In the way that tears are cleansing.
Yes,
Hmm.
she could be emotionally moved by it. It could have brought up some really important important energy that she's been working with, and it's time for it to be clear.
It's interesting that Kevin's saying he felt cooling on the legs as well and still feels it. So do I, Kevin. Heidi says, I instantly got tingles from my ankles up the inner legs, then to my solar chakra. Yeah, like I'm feeling it up to here from and I did the first time, even before you did it. Julie says, I'm back to that was awesome. And Kevin, or Z, well, I call him by his muggle name, but as they called it, the muggle name, Z Sun Dragon, he says, strong emotions as well. Beach and waves came through for me, image wise. Judy said the same thing to her too. Like, and I'm still feeling it. It's really interesting. It's not an unpleasant feeling. She says, I have tingling in my lower legs too. So there's many of us that do. That's interesting.
Maybe you're grounding more fully within your.
I noticed it today when we were talking and I told you I was sick. Oh, Jean Bassett said she did get a bit emotional too. So sounds like things that needed to be released. So thank you for that, Mary. I really appreciate that.
You're
And I'm
welcome.
sure everybody does.
I do private sessions with people, and I go deeper into the meditation with people and work with them. And I also do readings that guide us into what is important for you at the moment to be worked with and stuff. So that's the kind of work that I do, and all that's on my website. And then I do a group sound healing um, every month. And if you sign up for my newsletter, you'll get notification of that. Just like I sent it out for this here, uh, anything that I'm doing, you'll get notification of because I send it out with the new. I try not to be invasive with the newsletters, but because I don't like them either. But I try to uh, send you the things like that I'm doing and that you
Mhm.
might want to follow or join or whatever. And then I send out a letter about the news about the group sound healing, and that's really fun. So
Well, everybody's saying thank you to you. And Heidi Gall said it was immediate on the first, as in the first note. So, and that's just the people that are in the chat. We don't
yeah,
know. Connie said, but I don't think it's a problem either, though, because Connie said I didn't feel anything. You could just be open to
no,
just receiving, right?
uh, you don't have to feel anything because I can guarantee you magic is happening, whether you're aware of it or not. It's happening. So
Well, I never had heard of this healing modality before in the way of Huna. I'd never heard of it before. And there's a lady by the name of Marilyn Devonish. I'd mentioned the Sean Atwood channel, and she did this. And I feel really called to learn how to do it. It's based a little bit on the basis of Ho'oponopono, which we
oh
most of
yeah, the
us feel.
Hawaiian healing. Yes,
Most
yes.
of us are aware of that. It's a healing modality from Hawaii. But the reason I bring it up is she said exactly the same thing, that she was really skeptical. She was a life coach and she was going to Hawaii and she was doing some stuff she thought for her business. And she happened to be in a Huna session somehow. And she was very skeptical. She was angry. She had spent her money and she was going to be here for a week and, whatever. And so she got called forward to receive as part of the class. She said, yeah, fine. And she was like, good, I got my chance. I'm going to prove to him this is nothing. This is nothing. It doesn't work. And all of a sudden, like just as you were very intuitive, the person teaching the Huna was very intuitive, didn't name anybody, but said that it was basically going to help heal a relationship that had been fractured. And so the Huna session happened, and Marilyn had nothing happen. She goes, doesn't work. And then she said she got home from the to her hotel room, and this person was very difficult in their life. Sounds like it may have been a family member that you kind of can avoid, but you kind of have to be around them. They called her, and it was literally like, I think she even said on the phone to the person, like, have you been abducted by aliens or something? Like that's how weird it was, like the change and shift in this person. And it wasn't meant for this person. It was just to heal the rift. So she went back the next day and she's been sold on it for life. But the whole
Hmm.
reason I share it, she didn't feel a thing, but magic happened. Just like
Right.
what you just said. Magic happens. You don't have to feel it.
Remember earlier I said the work I do is very subtle, and
Mhm.
oftentimes you don't even know that it's affecting you, and you think I'm a crazy lady, or you don't have any you don't have any desire to experience it again, or this or that, because it's just so subtle. But that's why when I show you the pictures, you see what's actually happening, because they're visual of how powerful it is. And uh, I don't know what your needs are, but spirit
Right.
knows your needs.
Yep.
And I don't need to know your needs. It's not part of my journey to know your needs. The part of my journey is to offer you an opportunity to receive something that can facilitate your journey. That's why in my bio I say I facilitate the healing process, because that's what I do. I'm not the healer, you are. I'm just facilitating
I call myself the
your
male
needs.
person. I call myself
Well,
the male person that yeah, when people say, "Oh my God," like when you do say crystal reiki or a beautiful healing modality like yourself, right? No, we're
yeah,
just the vehicle for the healing. So I call myself the male person. So it's
yeah,
source and the
yeah,
person for the desire to receive the healing. You are the one that is doing it. I'm not doing it. We're just making the
yeah,
connection kind of thing, right?
yeah. I
Mhm.
just am open to allowing it to flow through me in the most perfect way. So
Mhm.
you you know you, I've done work with lots of people. They don't realize the power that they've received from it. Like I worked with somebody and he was a marketing person, and about 2 years later he went into a spiritual journey. Now he goes all over the world doing spiritual work. So and I worked with him more than once and several times, because the sound is working with you for whatever your needs and your timing. You know, everything has its own timing. So
You know what's so
I'm not.
powerful?
I'm not in charge with any of that stuff.
No, but you know what's so powerful about the
What?
toning too is people don't realize how far and wide sound reaches. Like I like to use examples when I'm explaining a concept or teaching or whatever. For example, I say to people, how incredible. Not everybody has to be carrying light, but those that choose to. Imagine walking into a pitch black room and you light one match, how far that light can travel. But when you add sound, and it's everything is vibration, energy, and frequency, I get it. But with sound, like it travels really far, like even to the point
Well,
that
it's
you can't
infinite.
hear
It
it.
never ends.
Yes,
The
you can't hear
frequencies,
it.
it
It's
is
still going.
absolutely infinite. That's kind of what
Yes.
those photos are showing you, is that we are infinite. So
Hmm.
as I am going out, as my physical body appears to be going out, the sound is going. It's going everywhere, and it never ends. There's no end to it. Uh, but the interesting thing is like, well, then why experience it? Well, when you receive it personally, and it's then that works with you individually as well as going out into the world infinitely. And the individual frequencies can really support you in your real-time journey, and support whatever your needs in your real-time journey is, and whatever those needs are, that's between spirit and you. But I know in my heart of hearts
Hmm.
that every time I tone with people, magic happens.
Well,
When
you've
I
got some
touch
great you've
when
got sorry, I was just gonna add just to add to what you're saying, sorry. I always have a delay and I forget to tell my guests I have a little bit of a delay, so I'm sorry it seemed like a pause there. But what I wanted to add was you've got some incredible reviews on your site that people have shared how incredible their sessions were with
yeah,
you. So I wanted to throw that in there.
yeah,
Mm.
just some magical healings have taken place, but there's things that people don't even know have happened. Like I've observed, like I toned with somebody, and he now is a very magical uh, gong. He does gong presentations, and he's magic at it. And that opened that up. See, the sound will open you to your higher dimensional self, and it just opens you if you're willing to take the journey with it. Because you have to agree. I mean, it's you still have free will, but but the sound is is powerful. I can't. I would love to share it with the world, and I would love to do as many personal sessions as like. I mean, I'm just finally coming out after having some really dark energy for 12 years, and
Mhm.
then stepping back for a while. And during during certain times back in the 19 anyhow, I realized that my sound is really important for now. It's really important to bring my sound out to the world now. So that's my journey now. Anybody that would like to have me on a show, or I would love to get out there and share this with more people. So anyway, and
And I
I would
told
love to
you
be with you again. Huh?
well, like I said, I guess I will have you back on again. I will. And I also, like I said, I talked to so many different people in a daytime. Like we haven't got our usual crew that's here, but it's still kind of the holidays, as I was calling it
Yeah.
Ukrainian New Year's, not Ukrainian New Year. It's Ukrainian, I think it's Ukrainian Christmas Eve either tonight or tomorrow, right? Or the Epiphany, if you celebrate, I think it's Catholicism, when supposedly the three wise men showed up to the birth of baby Jesus. And so it's still kind of a magical time, right? And I love what you said too. We only got a couple minutes left, believe it or not, it goes by so quick. But what I was going to say when you said, you don't need to know what people's issues are when you're doing something that's going out, you know, basically to the world, whoever's listening to this right
Right.
now, right? But when you're working one on one, that's when it can be more tailored. That's why I said before I do a show, I always say to Spirit, where are we going with this conversation? And I'm just open to it because I know that Spirit knows that some who is going to hear live, who is going to hear the replay and hold the intention that it meets the highest needs of those that are listening. basically, without bringing ego in, but hopefully helps them in a way that may be healing or whatever it is. And that sort of sounds like how you were holding the intention too, as you so gratefully, we're very grateful that you shared your gift with us, Mary. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, I know that how I choose to work is that I choose to work for your highest and best interest. So whenever I say my little prayer before I do anything, I always say that I'm going to work with my spirit and their spirit for the highest good of what's important for them, for their highest good, and for the highest good of all. Because that's for me important.
You got to bring those pictures with you, because when you sent them to me, I couldn't really tell what it was. I know you had told me a little bit, but not the whole story, because I said, we saved all this for the show, you guys. We did. We didn't talk about this before, but those are so powerful.
Yeah,
And like you said, it was a throwaway camera with the one with the orb, right? And
that one, and the other one was on a phone. The truth is that people do not really get the power of the pictures. They'll look at them and they go, yeah, oh, yeah. So it's really hard for people to really grok, the power of what they're seeing, because it is it is powerful. I know that those pictures are powerful, but it's people don't quite grok it because it's not in their wheelhouse yet.
well,
But that's
next time you
okay.
come on, we got to bring the Dr. Emoto pictures on too.
Yeah, those are on my website too, you
I
guys.
know, but then we'll
Yeah.
we'll pull a few of them in, and
Yeah,
we'll see if there's more on your website. You got to check the
yeah,
website out.
yeah. You can, because yeah, and we will, and we'll talk about them. It's really interesting. When I saw the pictures and saw that embryo after, there's like it breaks apart, and then there's this spinning of like a vortex of spinning in the in the in the picture, and then it's an embryo.
Wow.
Oh my God, it's taking away it's breaking apart what's not good and bringing in the new and opening you to a whole new vista of reality and healing and insight and awareness. I just, those pictures were amazing. But since I know what they are,
Well, no, but that gives a lot of context, like Kevin just said. Well, actually, Connie said before that, and Lisa Martinello said, thank you. Everybody's saying thank you. Definitely watching what I missed, because Heidi popped in a little bit later. Much gratitude to you, Mary. Heidi said, Lisa Martinello said, thank you. Connie Martin says, pictures are incredible once you know what you are seeing. And then Kevin added, I grasp the power in the pics. Indeed. Great show and great guest. So
thank
we
you.
are out of time. So where do people, what are
Oh
you doing?
wow.
You got anything coming up? Where can people find you?
Okay,
Again, your
well,
website, the whole bit.
come to my website. It's uh, it's called soundhealingelectra.com. And just go there and open it, and you can sign up there for my newsletter. And I really encourage you to do that, because I do a lot of little things like this, and I'd love people to join in. And thank you guys for all your acknowledgement. I really appreciate it, because I can see some of your comments, and it touches my heart. So thank you very much. And I have 3 CDs that you can get from there. I have a book I wrote. Um, so I'm going to be adding. I've just recently, Lauren is going to help me with this. I've written these inspirational things, and I have, I think, 40 of them that I wrote. I used to put them on Facebook, but nobody really paid attention. So anyhow, it's time for us to go. I'm sure. But thank you all. Thank you, Lorilei.
Oh, definitely checking your website out. See, I told you people are going to check you out. And you guys, we're going to have her back. It probably won't be till spring, because we're booking into the middle of April. But I will definitely have Mary on. But in the meantime, please check her website out. Like she said, she's got some recordings on there. She's written some books. She does. Sign up for her newsletter. You'll find out exactly what she's up to.
Yeah.
She's absolutely lovely.
You can come to a group sound healing.
There you go.
And if you're not from this country, I'm on WhatsApp. So
Oh, well, there you
You can
go.
contact me on WhatsApp or Messenger. So anyhow, so thank you guys. I mean, I know this seems like it's been a commercial, but I am really working to get my sound out into the world. So thank you for helping me do that.
Well, you guys, if you know anybody that needs it, including if you guys know other podcasts, people are looking for podcast guests. Mary's getting herself back out there, so I'm going to do the same and tell people about her too. But we had her here first, so so we're going to have her back on again. I want to tell you guys too, if you ever want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on facebook.com/the Angel Rock. I have an announcement though. I told you guys I'm working on my first course that I'm going to be teaching. Originally, it was planned with this person I am working with, and then we were branching out and it got a little too big, too many cooks in the kitchen. This was about 2 years ago. So I am happy to announce with her permission that Miss Leanne Clark, you guys have seen her before. She's one of my closest friends, with Debbie A. Anderson. Speaking of, we've had solfeggio tones that Debbie came up with from Spirit that have been on here. But that's another conversation next time, Mary. But anyways, Leanne and I are going to be teaching the course together. We are aiming towards the end of March. And so when I do, I'm hoping to put a domain name up there. But in the meantime, get a hold of me on facebook.com/Angel Rock. Like I said, you ever want to book a reading, I do psychic mediumship. I do house clearings for free. Was supposed to do one tomorrow, but we're not going to be, I don't think, with this silly cold that's ravaging my house. But I also do crystal Reiki, Akashic Records. I do teaching and mentoring, or best ways on social media. Messenger's the fastest, but I'm on every social media platform. Also, don't forget I have 2 groups on Facebook, Paranormal University for all things paranormal, the Angel Rocker Tribe for all things spiritual. I'm trying to see who's on next week. Give me a sec here, guys. I forgot to check. And then don't forget too, we got the thing at the foot of the bed with Lorilei, Potvin, and David Hansel, and we are well over 200. So hopefully when I'm a little bit better and Dave's feeling better, I know he is, I've talked to him, we are going to start going live in that group too. And speaking of the thing at the foot of the bed, tune in on Thursday night. Fingers crossed, everything should be good. We're going to have our 2-year anniversary party, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on UPRN. And if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing, stay tuned, because the Light Gate's coming up next with Dolly Saffron and with Preston Dennett. You guys, going to be a good show. Anyways, we love you all so much. Mary, thank you so much.
Thank you. And bye, and thank everyone, and goodbye. And I hope to see you all again.
She will. I got to send her a link so she can come back on and book it again. Anyways, we got to thank Lorian Fenton too. We have to have Lorian back on. She's so busy, but she connected me with Mary, and Mary's awesome, you guys. So please check her out. Okay, love you guys. See you on Thursday next week, guys. By the way, I forgot about this. Nancy,
I do need to leave now because it's almost 5:00, and I have another thing at 6.
Go ahead.
So I have to also go to the bathroom. So thank you all, and I
just go ahead. Just close the window and you're done. Okay, no problem. All right.
Bye, guys.
Soon, Mary. Much love. We got Nancy Euro coming out, new guest next week, but I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome. You're really going to enjoy her. I'm trying to remember what she was talking about, but I'm telling you, when I seen her book that I got introduced to, it was like, oh yes, my audience is going to love Nancy. Anyways, thank you, Julie. I was sick before Christmas, and then, like I said, we all woke up this morning with this and have not been out together. So I am guessing we got Friday night takeout. Maybe the delivery guy had something. I don't know, but I will be here Thursday. I promise, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And next week with Nancy, you're out, everybody. Okay. Love y'all. Stay safe. Have a wonderful, stay tuned for Dolly and Preston. And we'll see you on Thursday, everybody. Okay. Much love.